those kind of things. And just kind of take in the city. Brooklyn's amazing. I love it. We are obsessed with it, honestly. So we're really enjoying being here together, and getting to just see a little bit of that while we can.
Wonderful. And so y'all played a scrimmage on whatever day that was. It's hard to
Yep.
keep track of the days.
Yep.
And now that you're sort of in the system, I'm wondering if you could take us through how this way of basketball maybe differs from what you're used to with Seattle, or maybe it's similar as well. If you could take us through the comparison.
I think so far there's similarities for sure. When you have players like Stewie and Natasha, here as well, who are a little bit more positionless, pretty versatile. It makes playing these systems, pretty comparable, in that they are, able to take the ball themselves and start the transition and start us in our triggers and things like that. And then obviously, you have players like Benija as well, who can play kind of that 1-4 too for us. So I think there are similarities for sure. There'll be, I think that, the more that I get into it, the more I get comfortable with it, there will be, I'm sure, some distinct differences. I'm already kind of picking up on some of them, but I would say for the most part, it's still a lot of just getting to play basketball and making reads, which I really enjoy as well. And I think with this group, it will be really fun.
The last one from me. So Jasmine Jones talked to us about how you've been like this well of knowledge for her. And for
She's funny.
flattering you. It's nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, so can you take us through how you've been able to mentor some of these young people, especially the sophomores, that group?
Yeah, I mean, look, they only have that 1 year experience, and it was probably a pretty unique experience for them in that most first years don't come in with like 7 other first years, or whatever it is. And you're usually surrounded by a few more vets. So I think for them, I mean, that's a really great experience. They all would have taken away so much from last year, but now obviously, hopefully, we do have a few more vets that can come in and just help with a few things, just detail things, I think, really. And, they're sponges. They all really do just want to learn and take it in. They want to know, which things they need to be kind of correcting, which things to keep doing. And Jazz is really great at taking that stuff on board and straight away trying to like implement it, which is really fun to be around. And for me, I think it just helps reinforce certain things too, which is great. But it's something that I was really looking forward to coming to New York with this group and just taking a little bit more of that kind of leadership role. It's something that I've learned so much in my 4 years at Seattle from the amazing players there. So it's really nice to now get a chance to kind of share some of that.
Thanks so much, Sammy. I appreciate it.
Miles Early.
Hi, Sammy. I want to follow up right there after what Jackie was talking about, because in the post game the other night, Jazz Jones was incredibly complimentary of your basketball IQ and what she called your championship DNA. You're likely going to be spending lots of time on the court paired with either her or Sabrina Ionescu. So now that you've got a few days of training camp and a scrimmage under your belt, what have been your early impressions about those two players in particular?
Yeah, I mean, they both have, I think, very like high IQs as well. They're smart. They make good reads. They're aggressive, and all of those sorts of things. I think, like I said before, it's little things, it's detail things, or it might be having a little bit more patience within a read and what we're trying to get to, and just exploring different things that way. But I think both of them already are really smart. So it's easy to kind of say to them what that next level thing is for them, because they already are pretty high up there with what they know and what they're able to do. So that's fun too, because it isn't like I have to go back and you don't have to explain so much to them. It's just, hey, try this instead, or hey, move your eyes here and then pass there, or whatever it is. But it's small detail things that they're really good at picking up on and executing. So those, I look forward to playing with them. I'll learn for sure a ton from them. Sab's so good with the ball as well, and her creative just mind and all of those things. So I look forward to it.
Great, thank you. And is there anything in particular that you've been trying to focus on adding to your game in this camp?
Yeah, I think because of how we're going to play, just creating with the ball for teammates, being patient with my reads, making sure I'm making the right reads, getting into the paint, and knowing that if the help comes from here, this is the kick, and so on and so forth. But being more willing to do that, more patient in doing that, more aggressive in doing that, not settling just for shots. I think is something that will really help the group for sure.
Terrific. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hugh Hopkins.
Hi, thanks for talking to us today. Hugh Hopkins from Sky Sports here in the UK. I was wondering, with your role on the Australian international basketball team, have you discussed with the Liberty at all about timelines and that sort of thing this summer, about when you might be able to head over? I know there's obviously going to be a natural break, but have you discussed that with the team at all?
Well, I'm not actually a guaranteed selection. I'm a naturalized player, and Australia can only take one, and there are a few of us that they're selecting from. So I don't know that I'm going to the Olympics. So
my apologies.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Team.
So I don't know. I have not, because that's not a certainty at all still. But yeah, I mean, I'll have conversations obviously if that comes up for sure.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that. That's all I had on that today. Thanks.
Rafiq Lewison.
Hey again, this is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports Talk. I just want to know, what are some of the ways you're looking to develop your offense and defense in these next few days of training camp?
I want to just continue defensively to work on staying low, not reaching, moving my feet. Just really, I mean, it's a great opportunity in camp because we've got some really, really tremendous and quick guards that I have to defend. So that's been really great. Offensively, I think same thing, getting comfortable with the systems, with the schemes, what we're trying to do, getting comfortable with the players as well. Just building that chemistry, I think, is really important when you're playing through reads and that kind of stuff. Knowing what people like to do and what they're comfortable with and all of that is really helpful. So just trying to continue to build that chemistry and that trust and that patience within the reads.
And if I can ask a follow-up, what are your thoughts on Joshua Willoughby's injury and stuff?
Yeah, it's incredibly heartbreaking, actually. I was really looking forward to playing with her. She's been really, really great in camp so far. And I know she was going to have a bit of a breakout year, I think. I thought she was really great all through the Webble. She really just was on an uphill trend that whole season to me. And so I was really excited to play with her. She had a great season, this overseas season as well coming in. So it's sad. It sucks. It's part of sport, unfortunately. And we'll for sure be here supporting her in any way we can to get her back out there. But, we feel for her.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Sammy. We're going to let Sammy leave now, but we have Michaela coming up next. She's coming over from the locker room, so just give her a couple seconds, everyone. Thanks so much. All right, let's begin with Jeff Magliochetti.
Hi, Michaela. Thank you for joining us today. Coach Hopkins said that you had a tremendous scrimmage despite a not so great box score. So what do you think of your performance?
I think it was definitely just an interesting experience for me. I was a little bit nervous just having the opportunity to start, which I was really grateful for. But I just kept going in, being a rookie, I was a little bit nervous. But ultimately, I think it was just really a barometer of where we were at as a team and where I am personally. I'm just coming into the league. And so did what I could as far as just kind of implementing our offense and what we've been learning in practice. And obviously there's some things I need to get better at, but I'm just really glad I had the opportunity to, see where I was at and see where I can get better.
Danny Bar.
Hi, Michaela. To follow up on that a bit, I was wondering if you could talk about what some of those things you learned from the scrimmage are and what are some of those areas that you wanted to work more on coming off of that.
Yeah, of course. I think definitely just being able to finish through contact and even further, initiating that contact to finish. I think that obviously in college it's a little bit different. as far as what you can and can't do on contact when you're on offense, but just learning how to finish through that. And just kind of slowing down my pace. Sometimes I play at one speed. And so I know in this league, that's something I'm definitely gonna have to get better at, is just change of pace, change of speed, learning how to finish through contact, learning how to initiate contact. It's gonna be super important for me just moving forward.
Thanks.
Of course.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Michaela, good to see you again. So expanding upon the questions we've just heard, can you talk to us a little bit about how the coaching staff was there for you, after that performance? I mean, obviously Jackie, she's someone who knows what that's like. So what type of support did you get from her, or maybe Shelly, and just take us through that?
They were all so encouraging. I think that just is so important. I went up to Jackie right after the game and I was like, okay, what's the feedback you're going to give me? And she was like, honestly, like, you did great. Obviously there's some things you need to work on. And like, we're going to watch film, which we're actually going to do tomorrow, watch film together, just seeing kind of things that I did well and didn't do so well as well. And so they were really encouraging. And then I was able to talk to Coach Dustin and Coach Walt, and they were just really encouraging me, like, don't worry, like we that stuff that you missed is something that we can definitely work on, and like, you're in a great spot and we're not concerned. And so to have coaches who really have my back in that way and support me even when I don't feel like I did my best is so important, especially at this level. Where I'm just coming in and I'm just trying to do the best I can. So just to have them in my ear was really, really positive for me, just to hear that.
Wonderful. And so with Jocelyn out, which is just so heartbreaking, can you talk to us about sort of how you all are going to, rally and step up in her place and sort of just play for her?
Yeah, that's actually so unfortunate. I just found out like right before this. So just prayers to Jocelyn. She's just such a hard worker. In the little time that I've had with her, I always just go to her with questions and she always has an answer for me. Super encouraging, so vocal, works so hard. And so obviously so unfortunate that she had to go through this injury. I'm grateful that she had a successful surgery, but like you said, like, it's easy to rally around somebody that's like that, who's a great teammate, who works really hard, who shows up and is consistent in practice every day. And so I think for sure, from 1 to 12, whenever that happens, we're definitely going to rally around her and play for her, because she deserves to be on the court. And obviously she's not going to be this year, but we'll definitely be playing for her.
Lovely. And last one for me, can you talk to us a little bit about how it's been to, learn from leaders like Sammy, who we just talked to, and Benijah, who I think is, she came back from Israel and now she's sort of getting into practice with you guys?
It's definitely been great, and I've been trying to just be a sponge in every single asset. I just feel like Sammy's always in my ear, just talking to me about what I could have done better, or what I could have done here, or just encouraging me and supporting me. And she's a really big voice that I know. She's been on a championship team in a championship organization, and so she knows what she's talking about. And so I feel like everybody listens, and especially myself, like just coming in, being a rookie, like, my ears are always open when she speaks. And then having Benijah as well. She's new, but she already has made her impact. She's just so vocal, super encouraging, and I am able to really see what she does. I see myself as like kind of growing into a sort of player like Benijah. And so to have her on my team is definitely super important for me, just to learn from her and really just kind of come after her for sure.
Thanks so much, Michaela. Great to chat with you as always.
Thank you. You too.
Hugh Hopkins.
Hi, Michaela. Hugh Hopkins from Sky Sports in the UK here. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. One of the things that I wanted to follow on from a couple of your previous answers, you said that there's a lot of leaders on the team this year, and it felt like the team sort of made an effort to bring in some veterans. But I was wondering, what about the young group that you're playing along with? The rookies and the second years. Are there any players that have stood out as leaders, even though it's very early days right now?
I think everybody has just been great and just encouraging and supporting me, especially, but even just more especially, I would say Jasmine. I said this before, but she's way beyond her years. I can go to her and ask her any question and she has an answer for me. And you could just tell like she's been here and she's kind of done this. And so she's a vet in my eyes. And so even though she's only a second year, she just has been somebody I really have turned to. And so that's been somebody I really appreciate. But also my former teammate, Kylie, she'll just tell me some things that like, hey, Michaela, this, or hey, Michaela, that. And so that's been really encouraging to have those two in my ear. And everybody as a whole has been really, 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 really good towards me and just kind of telling me advice and just giving me advice here and there. And so it's been everybody, but especially those two.
Thanks for that. And between the sort of slightly older group and now this young group that's coming in, what's the sort of vibe and conversation in terms of how far this team thinks it can go? Because there's obviously, you know, a lot of pressure being a New York franchise, but I think with some young stars that you've got on the team as well, you know, what's the feeling in the locker room in terms of how well you can actually do this season?
I think obviously like we're obviously striving towards a championship, but we know that that's going to take some steps. And obviously with the new pieces that we have, it is going to take a little bit of time to kind of organize that together. But we're just really excited to be competing with each other every single day. We have pieces that I'm really excited to be able to play with. And once we get it all together and bring it all together offensively and defensively, we're going to be a really hard team to beat, a really hard team to scout. And so I'm super excited when that all comes together, but it's definitely going to be obviously a process, and I'm just excited for that to all come to fruition.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, last question, Miles Early.
Michaela, a lot of the questions have already been asked about how you felt about the scrimmage. So how are you settling into New York, and what have been your impressions of just getting around Brooklyn? And I know there are still COVID protocols, but your comfort level and just kind of just getting comfortable here.
Honestly, I wish I could answer this differently, but I haven't really done anything. I have been just really, really following the rules as far as the protocols and stuff. So my day is really going to practice and going back to my apartment, and the occasional Target run. So Target's nice here, but that's really all I know. But I'm really excited, obviously, when I'm fully vaccinated, to be able to go out and really explore Brooklyn. I know just how big the basketball culture is here and just different diverse people here, which is super exciting. So once that all happens, I'm definitely going to get out and explore and adventure a little bit more with Brooklyn.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all. And thank you, Michaela, for joining us. Hope to see you tomorrow. If you checked out the schedule, we will send the recording here shortly. Thanks, everyone.